Good day, everyone. Welcome to our program, Lima Kagatos Katuig ng Pagtoo, 500 years of faith, in celebration of the 500 years of Christianity that the Spaniards brought to our islands 500 years ago. So I'm happy that we are going to continue with our reading of Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family, the apostolic exhortation of Pope Francis on the love in the family. I hope di pa kayo nagsasama. No? We have been doing, this is a series of talks, explanations, discussion on what Pope Francis would like to tell us about the joy of love in the family, which I believe is something very important and of course very close to the hearts of each one of us, because we all belong to a family. We all belong to a family, both natural and supernatural. No, our natural family is our parents, of course, composed of our parents, our siblings, our lolo and lola, our pamangkin, the extended family, our in-laws, pamangkins, apos, kung may na apo. And the supernatural family is the family of God, which is the church, composed of all the faithful. And majority of the members of the church are the lay faithful. So, the church is the body of Christ and the bride of Christ. It's the bride of Christ. That's why the church and the family are similar. No, they're similar. Only that yung level ng isa supernatural, while the other level, the level of the other family, the natural family, is here grounded on earthly realities. We're still in chapter 4 of Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family, and chapter 4 is about love in marriage. Pwede tayo masaring this is the heart, This is the heart of the apostolic exhortation of Pope Francis. It's about love in action, in the family, in marriage, and in the family. Earlier on, tinulawan ta ang hymn of love ni St. Paul. What is love? Love is kind. Love is not boastful. Love is at the service of the other. Love does not hurt. Love is responsible. So many, characteristics of love. So many characteristics of love. And in chapter 4, ipinapakita ni Pope Francis ang practical application. Hini nga sinisiringta nga paghigugma hit mag-asawa in their marriage and in the family. So today we'll talk about conjugal love. Ang paghigugma hit mag-asawa, the husband and the wife, their love to each other. In my class in persons, we are now starting with the family code, and the first article of the family code gives us a definition of marriage, which is a permanent union between a man and a woman for the purpose of entering into conjugal and family life. And then I asked them to differentiate conjugal love from family life. Conjugal love from family life. And conjugal love refers to the love between the man and the woman, between the husband and the wife, while family life includes the children, who are the fruit of the love between the man and a woman. So this afternoon, we'll talk about conjugal love, as explained by Pope Francis in Amoris Laetitia. Sabi ni Pope Francis, after the love that unites us to God, conjugal love is the greatest form of friendship. No? It is the greatest form of friendship after our own personal friendship with God. So, asya nga, importante, asya nga, sugad na la, no, ipaghatag in importansya, hit simbahan, hit conjugal love, nga hit pagrespeto, nga hit pagprotektar, hit simbahan, and not only the church, no, but also the state. It protects the conjugal love and family life. So, kulawita ang characteristics, qualities, traits, no, of a good friendship, as outlined by Pope Francis in his apostolic exhortation, Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family. And one characteristic, one trait of a good friendship is the concern for the good of the other. Ada ipanginano nga para hit usa, para hit hinigugma. Nanginginano ka, ungod-ungod nga panginano. Kung ano na tiya kabutang, kung maupay ba, maupay ba hiya, kung direla, kung he or she is safe, but kung malipayon ba hiya, malipayon ba hiya. And then the other characteristic of a true friendship is reciprocity. No, reciprocity. Nagigi panginano, nagigi bulig, nagigi higugmaay. No? Dere one way, it's two-way. Love is two-way. True love is two-way. Kinahanglan daman, babaluson ta. Ipaghigugma nga ihinahatag haat, nga ipinapakita haaton. So that's a characteristic, that's a trait of true friendship that is found in conjugal love, as Pope Francis has explained. The other is intimacy. Intimacy, closeness, no? Closeness. Physical, yes. Physical, may ada HHH ba yan? Holding hands. Ano ba yung HHH? Holding hands, WWW. Holding hands while walking. No, that's one way of showing intimacy. What else? Physical intimacy, no? Embracing, kissing each other. But more than that, no, it's an intimacy of the self. Nga komportable ka istorya nga dahit hinigugma, nga dahit asawa. Komportable ka to open yourself up, no, to be vulnerable, nga igsumatnim it nga tanan nga inaabat, nga tanan nga adat kasing-kasing, adat mo na huna. May it be anger, joy, happiness, whatever it is, no, diri ka nag-aalang, kay maaram ka nga maintindihan ka, pamamatian ka, nga bisan kun kita o niya nga, ato yun ka judgmental, ato yun ka magraot iti ang mga gimpipinan huna-huna, hihigog maong kalagihap. Hihigog maong kalagihap. And then, this intimacy also, closeness, physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual closeness of the couple, the husband and wife. Sometimes there are no words, no? Waray dire na kinahanglan himpulong, nagigiintindihay na hira. Just the mere presence of the other is more than enough, no, for the other person to feel heard, to feel understood, to feel loved, to feel cared for. So you know that you are already intimate. Pagsugad na it level, it iyo relationship nga sometimes dire na kinahanglan hin pulong, hin pagyakan para magkaintindihan kamo. Just the mere fact that you are together, no, with each other, maabatonim it paghigugmaaim hit imo asawa. Another characteristic, no, of or quality or trait of good friendship is warmth. No? What is warmth? It can also be physical, but it's more than that, no? Warmth, physical warmth, Yun, hinahagutan ka, may upod, meron kang katabi who will make you feel warm. Merong yayakap sa'yo to make you feel warm physically. But again, more than that, no? More than that, more than the physical warmth, it's the warmth in your heart. It's the warmth in your heart, knowing that you are loved. Knowing that you are loved. So, you don't feel cold, no? Yung cold, yung parang walang pakialam sa'yo, parang ang layo niya, kahit magkatabi kayo, kahit magkasama kayo, nasa isang bahay kayo, pero parang ang layo niya, parang wala siya sa tabi mo, kahit katabi mo siya. So that's lack of warmth. That's lack of warmth. So the opposite, no, is warmth. You feel comforted by the presence of the person. Maaram ka nga, yada hiya, para mamati haim, to accompany you, para updan kaniya, para i-console kaniya, kung manim ginaagian, nga diri maupay, na you are sad, you are upset about something, no? So he gives you warmth. He or she gives you warmth. Depende. Asawa, no? Asawa nga lalaki o asawa nga babae. And the other characteristic is stability. Stability. Nga diri nagbibinuro value ba? Nga maaram ka nga hiya na. No? Hiya na. Di ka na mahuhulog nga mawawara pa hiyahaim. So that's the one characteristic, no, of a true friendship that is found in conjugal love. That is found in conjugal love. Secure ka. Ka-stable iti your relationship. Wala nim angay, ikabahala, ikahulog, nga mabayaan ka o nga mawawara iti paghigugmahaim. And then the resemblance born of a shared life. Sa rin nira, ngin maiha na nga mag-asawa, babaeng at lalaki, nagpapareho na iti hitsura. And you will observe its scientific finding, and even from our personal observation, makikita ta, di ba? Nga paro'y nagpapareho na iti hitsura at mag-asawa as they stay together, they stay married for many years. It's a natural phenomenon. It's mysterious, but it's a natural phenomenon. The resemblance born of a shared life. So ring liwat ni Pope Francis nga mag-asawa, babae lalaki nga nagigihigugmaay, they do not see the relationship as merely temporary. No? Temporary, pero pang forever to, for life. No? This is a union for life nga wara makakapagpabulag haira, waray makakahibang hit era relationship. So that's how they see the relationship, no? Dire lain for as long as I feel like it, you know, habang okay, masaya ako sa'yo, then okay tayo. Pero the moment nga dire na malipayon, then goodbye, no? Turoy na lang kitahin iba, no? That's not how lovers see their union. That's not how husband and wife see their marriage. They see their marriage as something forever, to last forever. And those who marry do not expect their excitement to fade, no? Nobody. Those who get married, they say they want to freeze time. They want to freeze time kung pwede la. Di na mag-iba, no? Panahon, nganit iyo, yung nararamdaman niyo para sa isa't isa. Sana hindi na magbago. Sana hindi na matapos, no? Sana forever yung nararamdaman niyo for each other, which is very possible. And I mean, we have so many testimonies of marriages that has lasted for years and years, no? In fact, I have a friend, kag-anak, they are now in their 90s, and they just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. What a blessing! And it's so possible for a husband and wife to stay together, no, up to their 65th year of marriage and beyond, until death do them part. Because that's how true love is, no? It looks at permanence. It doesn't see the relationship as something temporary. Nga, sige, habang okay pa tayo, habang exciting pa itong pagsasama natin, magsama tayo. But the moment na wala na akong maramdaman para sa'yo, the moment na, magkaiba na yung landas natin, or we outgrow each other, may mga ganyan, no? Nag-iiba na itira mga priorities, pati itira pagkulaw, hit kada usa na nahihibang itira relationship, itira pag-asawa. But that's, according to Pope Francis, that shows weakness, no? And the love is not true. The love is not true. Diri ungod nga paghigugma, it's so gadhip nga doesn't think of permanence, doesn't think of stability. That's not true love. That's not true love. It's a selfish kind of love, no? Like kinukulawan la it iyala personal satisfaction, no? Diri it kaupayan hit iya asawa, hit iya hinigugma. And children, no? Because we're talking of conjugal love, the fruit of this conjugal love are children. So we have the family life. Children, kabataan, not only want their parents to love one another, but also to be faithful and remain together. So ayaw tayong hingalimti, no? Aton mga kabataan, kung may ada na inihatag haat nga, if we are blessed, no, with children, we can no longer just think about ourselves. Kay upod produkto mainhira hit aton paghihigugmaay, hit aton paglungon, no, as husband and wife, because we love each other. So they're already part of the equation. We already have formed a family life. So we have to consider the children, no? And again, this is a scientific, sociological study nga kabataan karuyag nira nga maghihigugma ira kag anak. And I also read, no, nga ngin kabataan nakikita nira that the mother and father, papa and mama, nanay and tatay, mommy and daddy love each other. They feel loved. Na nagraradiate nga daha era ipaghigugma hit era mga kag-anak. But not only do they want to see their parents love each other, they want them to be together. Dire nira karuyag magbulag it era mga kag-anak, karuyag nira nga magtatampuhira, they remain together. And there have been studies of famous personalities, no? Mga naging sikat hira, singer, actor, actress, artist, nga naging self-destructive. They went into drugs, vices, and then some even took their lives. And when they studied the life of that famous person, nakita nira, no? Nga sobrang naapektuhan ang bata han pagbulaghan ira kag anak. So let's keep this in mind, no? That our children not only want to see their parents love each other, they want to see them together. They want to see them stay together, remain together. Dire nira karuyag nga magbubulag ira mga kag-anak. They actually suffer the most, no? Ngin nagbubulag it kag-anak. And it is, and the very nature of conjugal love is to be definitive, exclusive, and permanent. No, definitive, yun, yung may stability, may permanence, dire nagbibinorobalyo, kundi aada, no? It ira hunahunat, ira kasing-kasing nga. This is for life. This is forever. It aton pag-asawa. This is forever. And exclusive, syempre, no? Waray third party, waray third wheel. No, higit ala. Kung may ada third party, it's God, no, who is a third party in our married life. Pero maray iba, no, nga kukulawan nga igbubulig dahil paglungon hit mag-asawa. It is something exclusive between the husband and the wife and permanent, no, as we mentioned earlier. There nagbibinorobalyo, stable, it paghigugma, it mag-asawa, aada permi para hit kada usa. And this is a covenant before God to be faithful, no? When we promise each other to love one another for the rest of our lives, we are making that promise before God. And that promise is to be faithful, to stay together in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, for better or for worse, until death do us part. Dito na mahitluyo hining conjugal love that Pope Francis just described in his Amoris Laetitia, apostolic exhortation on the joy of love in the family, is a kind of love that is weak, no? That is the opposite of what we have just described earlier. The opposite of that is a weak kind of love, and it is infirm, masinalakit nun. It is incapable of accepting marriage as a challenge to be taken up, fought for, reborn, renewed, reinvented with the reinvented, and it cannot sustain a great commitment. It succumbs to the culture of the ephemeral that prevents a constant process of growth. No? So it's important. Let's try to discuss this. Ano it opposite han maupay nga paghigugma it mag-asawa, no? It's a kind of love na mahinay, hindi handa ipaglaban yung pagmamahalan nila sa isa't isa, diri kinakarawat it pag-asawa nga usa nga challenge, no? Usa nga challenge. It's not a bed of roses. No, marriage is not a bed of roses. It's a daily struggle. It's a daily struggle. So, yan ang kailangang maintindihan ng mga mag-asawa and those who want to get married, na it's not all about feeling good. It's not all about feeling good, feeling like you are in cloud nine, no? Because you're so in love with each other. We know that feelings disappear. Nawawara, nag-iiba, nagbabago, feelings. No? It's not stable. That's why true love is not merely based on feelings. Feelings help. Feelings help for you to express your love for the other, to excite one another, no? But feelings cannot be trusted because they change and they are not stable and they are not permanent. But true love seeks permanence. It seeks stability. That's why let's not rely merely on feelings, ha? Feelings, nothing more than feelings, yung mga ganon, ha? So, hindi pwede. Let's disabuse, no? Our minds. Hikita nga mga, those who fall in love, get married, nga pagwaray na it feeling, that loving feeling, wala na paghigugma. That's not true. That's not true. You have to disabuse your mind, no, of that false notion of love. That's not true love. Sa ring ni Pope Francis, mas sinalakit nun nga klase yung paghigugma. Ngan mahinay, no? It's weak, and kinahanglan kinahanglan ko nit aton attitude, no? Is that we should look at marriage as a challenge, to be fought for, reborn, renewed, reinvented until death. So ito pala yun. Reborn, renewed, reinvented until death. Na dahil kamatayan, no? Nga magbabago kita. It's true, we change through the years. We change through the years. It aton pagkulaw hit kalibutan, our physical appearance changes, many things about us change because that's how a human person who is alive is, no? It dire lang nagbabago, patay. Pero habang buhi kita, we'll keep on changing. We'll keep on changing. That's why pag-asawa has to be seen as a challenge nga kinahanglan ko, no, kailangan ipaglalaban mo. Kailangan renew, nire-reborn. As it nga may mga wedding anniversary where you renew your vows to each other. Where you renew your vows to each other. In fact, you should renew your vow to each other every day. Every day. Kada adlaw. Pag ihahatag nga ho niyo nga that kada usaan iyo, I do. Ito I do. Like this day, I'm going to love you for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer and for poorer, until death do us part. No? So you have to do that every day, every single day. And then to be reborn, no? To be open. Nga hit pagbago, hit pagliwan, hit pagliwat, katawo nga how. This actually makes marriage exciting if you come to think of it. If you come to think of it, no, di magiging boring it pag-asawa kung sugarin it aton attitude towards marriage and towards one another, no, that we grow together. Nga tanan ni at pag-aagian as we grow older, as we stay together as married couple, we will grow together. We will grow together and go through these many changes. And to reinvent. No, this is a word that many of us hear a lot, hear often. You have to reinvent yourself because the old self is no longer relevant to the present times. Especially if you got married early on, nga medyo immature pa kamo. Through the years, you learn to grow and mature. So you have to reinvent yourselves, okay? And make yourselves and your marriage relevant to the present times. And this is going to happen until death. Until death. Dire nga yanala o buwas or until the next anniversary, no? Kundi nga dahit iyo kamatayan. Because that's when marriage ends. It's also in the family code. One of the grounds for termination of marriage na uudong it pag-asawa is death, no? When the other person already leaves this world and go to the other life, then that's the end of marriage, no? But we know of many widows, widowers, no, who continue to love their spouse even beyond death. And then, siring pa ni Pope Francis nga it cannot sustain a great commitment, no? It weak, it mahinay nga paghigugma, diri andam, diri na hin commitment. Diri andam hin commitment. Commitment kasi it's something that requires strength, and it requires fortitude, and it requires a big heart. Ngan may paniya siniring ni Pope Francis na it weak, it maluya nga pagigugma, it mag-asawa succumbs to the culture of the ephemeral that prevents a constant process of growth. Ini nga culture of ephemeral nga panandalian lang, parang cellphone, nagbabago kahit model, no? Dire permanente, it impagkulaw hit kasal, nga, yun nga, for as long as I feel good. So that's a sign of a weak love for one another. So we try to strengthen kini nga paghigugma at mag-asawa para dire-hira hindi bumigay, no? Sa mga pagsubok na dadaanan nila in their married life. Pope Francis ina-assure niya at mag-asawa that promising love forever is possible when we perceive a plan bigger than our own ideas and undertakings, a plan which sustains us and enables us to surrender our future entirely to the one we love. So, posible it forever. No? Kakatuwa si Pope Francis, no? He speaks the language of the millennial, of the young people, and people of all ages, no? Naiintindihan ni Pope Francis, nga naiintindihan tahiya. because he loves, no? He loves with the love of Christ. So promising love wherever is possible, to say to each other, I'm going to love you until death. No, you are not lying. You are telling the truth. You are telling the truth because it is possible. Pwede kang mangako ng forever. If we perceive a plan bigger than our own ideas and undertakings, kung diri nala puro aton kalugaringon, it aton pagkukulawan, it aton mga plano, it aton mga ambisyon. A plan which sustains us and enables us to surrender our future entirely to the one we love. No? So this is the secret. If we have that kind of love, no, that will surrender itself entirely to the one we love. So instead of just thinking of ourselves, of our own happiness, of our own comfort, of our own pleasure, of puro I, me, mine, no, we forget about the self. Nakakalimutan tet at kalugaringon kay inihahatag ta bugos it at kalugaringon, bugos ta nga inihahatag nga dahit aton asawa, nga dahit aton hinigugma. That's when forever is possible. Pagsugadhin it aton klaseng paghigugma nga diri nala itatong kalugaringon, nga kalipayan, nga kaupayan, itaton tinhuna-huna, kundi nahingangalimtan-tan na nga ni itaton kalipayan, daraka adihit aton nung nauna, itaton kasing-kasing, kalipayan, kaupayan, aton hinigugma. And you know, what's beautiful about it is that when we have the good of the person we love in mind and in our heart, we actually feel very happy. No, asya itong papalipay haan. Tama ito ni Ara sinisiring, itim kalipayan ko. No, this is what is meant by Pope Francis. Itim kalipayan ko. Itim kaupayan ko. So this is the kind of love that lasts forever. And that's the secret, no, of love, no, that will last till death do them part. Nga dahit ira kamatay, dahit ira paghigugma hit kada usa. So beautiful. I really love, the way Pope Francis explains love in marriage, no? Love in marriage. Dinhin iya apostolic exhortation, Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family. Then Pope Francis also talks of marriage and passion. No? Kinahanglan may passion, no? When we talk of passion, what do you have in mind, no? Intense emotion, di ba? Intense emotion. Pwede mong sabihin, nanggigigil ka nga eh. Sa sobrang pagmamahal, nanggigigil ka. Sa sobrang pagmamahal. But this passion, sa ring ni Pope Francis, is always directed to an ever more stable and intense union. So ini nga intense emotion, it iya purpose is to solidify the marriage, no? It iyo pag-asawa nagpaparigon na pabaskog, it iyo pag-asawa, ini nga passion that you have. It's not just a matter of self-expression, it's not just a matter of releasing, I don't know, you have all these hormones inside of you that makes you passionate. No, it's not just that. It's so much more, because it's a kind of passion that makes the marriage stronger. Naging papa baskog, naging papa kusog ipag-asawa. And marriage was not instituted solely for the procreation of children, Pope Francis explains, but also that mutual love between the husband and the wife might be properly expressed, that it should grow and mature. So it's true, marriage, as defined also by the family code, it is for the entered into by a man and a woman for the purpose of establishing conjugal and family life. No? Pero siring, again, explain naman ni Pope Francis nga, direlate siya it purpose of marriage. No? It magkamay ada anak. Although that's a very important purpose of marriage. But also to strengthen the mutual love between the husband and the wife para padigunon pa, pabaskugon pa, ipaghigugma, it mag-asawa. That's the purpose of marriage. And then natural na yun yung magkakaanak because that's the fruit of the passionate love of the man and the woman, of the husband and the wife. No? So, look, the way the Pope Francis explains marriage, no, it's so practical. It's so practical. Ngayon, kita pinapaintindi, no? Nga unahaanay, iyo paghigugma, ikamo nga mag-asawa, kay from the fruit of that passionate love that you have for each other is the child, no? Are your children. So, nakakatuwa lang, no, yung perspective ni Pope Francis. Yung perspective ni Pope Francis. Because this way, talagang nai-strengthen mo, napapabaskog nim itpag-asawa. Nagiging solid itpag-asawa. Because you take care of the love that you have for each other. And because you love each other so much, no? Then nagkakaroon ng bunga, nagkakaroon ng fruit, and that is your child and your children. Your children. It is a natural consequence of the love that you have for each other. So, yun. Beautiful. Another beautiful explanation of Pope Francis on what true love is, on what conjugal love is. Ito would nga paghigugma, hit mag-asawa, nga dahit kada usa. So, conjugal love is all-encompassing. This union is exclusive, faithful, and open to new life. There is mutual sharing and respect. No? There is mutual sharing and respect. No? It's not one way, but two way. Okay, so very beautiful explanation of Pope Francis on what conjugal love is about. So Pope Francis also talks of joy and beauty. Dahil pag-asawa, hit paghigugma, hit mag-asawa, may ada kalipayan ngahin kaupayan, hinka mabaysay, ngahin kamalipayon. Joy and beauty. These are longings of the human heart. No? We all long for joy. We all long for beauty. We appreciate beauty and we want to have beauty because we enjoy. Beauty gives so much joy and satisfaction and happiness. No? So what is this joy and beauty in marriage, in conjugal love? Okay, so ni Pope Francis, in marriage, the joy of love needs to be cultivated. The joy of love needs to be cultivated. What does that mean? Direct pag-asawa, it kalipayan, hit paghigugma, no? Hit mag-asawa, kinahanglan, gin ko cultivate, no? Pero hintuna, ang nagtatanom kita nga, ang mga plantito, gimag-aarami kitahin, how to cultivate the land, para magmaupa it aton tanom, para mabuhi, unang-una, para tumambok, para maupay mga dahon, ngayon para mamukad. So that's what Pope Francis means, and that's what he talks about the joy of love in marriage being cultivated. Kinahanglan binibisigan, kinahanglan fini-fertilize, kinahanglan pinakikikayaknan, di ba it mga tanong, pinakikikayaknan ta para mabuhi, para magmaupay, magmahusay, magbabaysay, para mamukad, para magbunga, magkamada prutas. No, we talk to them, we give them the TLC, that we have heard about, that is a tender, loving care. So, amo damain, dahil pagkigugmay't mag-asawa, the joy of love needs to be cultivated. Kinahanglan daman, hindi TLC, tender, loving care. So, marital joy can be experienced even amid sorrow. Siring ni Pope Francis. Bisan kung may ada mga kapiduan, bisan kung may ada mga problema, dahil pamilya, diri buod sigon nga, waray na kalipayan. Waray na kalipayan. That's not true, siring ni Pope Francis, because even in the midst of sorrow, of pain, married couple and the family can enjoy marital joy. It involves accepting that marriage is an inevitable mixture of enjoyment and struggle, tensions and repose, pain and relief, satisfactions and longings, annoyances and pleasures. So, this is beautiful, no? Nga, to have a realistic view of marriage. Siring ko pa kanina, marriage is not a walk in the park. It's not a bed of roses. It puro kalipayan la. May hit mga pain, sorrows, disappointments. May mga problema nga pag-aagian, aatubangon, hit mag-asawa. No? And so we have to have this realistic view of marriage. Huwag natin isipin na marriage gives us perfect happiness. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. You have to disabuse your minds, no, with that. Na waray kabiduan, waray kakurian, ngayon mag-aasawa ka na. That's not true. That's not true. Don't fool yourself. Ayaw, wag mong lukohin yung sarili mo. No? Nga mag-aasawa ka para to have a perfect happiness. You are in for a disappointment. Sabi ni Pope Francis, you are in for a big, big disappointment. So expect problems, expect pain, expect sorrow, no? Di dahil pag-asawa. Because it comes with the territory, upod iton. Because it's part of life. And marriage is life. It's life. It's a life that you live together, no, with the person you vowed to spend the rest of your life with. But always on the path of friendship, which inspires married couples to help and serve each other, to care for one another. So, ini nga mga problema, nga mga kabiduan, nga mga kakurian, nga ginaagian at mag-asawa, nakakaya nila na they're able to survive it kung naadat era pagbulig hit kada usa, pagsuporta hit kada usa, hit pagserbi hit kada usa. So that's the solution. Huh? And that's the secret to keep the marriage together. Bisan kung iginaagi yung mga kakurian, yung mga problema, yung mga kabiduan, you will survive all these problems and difficulties and pains and sorrows if you continue to be friends to each other, remember, and care for one another, and help one another, and support one another, and serve one another. So, don't be afraid. No, don't be afraid of the problems that come with the married life. No? Kay kun ungod itiyo paghigugma, ungod nga pagsangkay, no? Sarinira ngani that friendship is the best foundation for marriage, for love, no? Bisan kung dili ka mo naging mag-best friend, okay la, basta as you grow together in your married life, you become good friends of each other. Nagigibulig, nagigisuporta, intindi, nganggin siserbihan, ikada usa. So now let's talk about beauty. Beauty in marriage, in the conjugal love between the husband and the wife. Beauty, sabi ni Pope Francis, is more than physical or psychological appeal, no? Direlay ni onong it's sex appeal. Nga, wow, hunk. You know? Wow, kamahusay, parohin Diyosa, no? It's more than that. It's more than that. It enables us to appreciate the sacredness of a person without feeling the need to possess the person. Wow. This is so profound and at the same time simple. Why is beauty more than the physical and psychological appeal? It's very obvious, no? Because physical beauty fades, disappears, no? Kung han mag-iniinggisan ka pala o nainggis ka pala, mga sexy pa ka mo, no? Mga Coca-Cola body. Very slim and sexy and beautiful. Tapos very tight yung skin. Tapos hair is shiny and black. No, very attractive in other words. But as you grow older, what happens? Nananambok, nagdudungan ka mo panambok sa ringanan o sa nga mag-asawa, nagrurumba kami, parang nagko-contest in hira ang panambok, no? So nawawara na ang sexy nga lawas, nawawara ang buhok nga dati maitim and shiny and long. Wala, inuuban, naiibanan, dahil-ganin nauubos, naiiba natin yung itsura, no? And then the skin starts to sag, nagkakamay other wrinkles. Yeah, so naiiba itsura. Physical beauty fades, no? It fades. Labi na kung di niyong maatamanon tiyong kalugaringon. But bisan kung atamanon niyong, you cannot define nature, no? You can only parang prolong it. Pero you cannot define nature. Kay, ano pa na ito? Dracula. Dracula, ramalet it, di na mamatay, di nagliliwat hitsura. Bisan pira na, kagatus katuig, no? That they haven't exist, but they don't exist, no? I'm just kidding. That's just an exaggeration. And it's not true, they don't exist. Don't believe that. So, itungod nga beauty, itungod nga kamahusay, kamabaysay, kagwapo, enables us to appreciate the sacredness of a person. Nakikita ta nga hiya sagrado. Sagrado, may niya dignidad. May niya dignidad without feeling the need to possess it, no? Nga inirerespeto ta. Diri ta karuyag i-control, diri ta i-stalk ini nga person, diri ta hiya i-imprison, ano nga tawag dyan, yung hindi mo siya parang ikinukulong o sinasakal, kay nahadlok ka, nga makuha yan iba, nga karuyag nim nga hiikawla, it mag-control ha iya, it mag-possess ha iya. No, that's not true love, that's not the beauty of love. No, that's not the beauty of love, because the beauty of love, the true beauty, no, in the love between a husband and a wife, inirerespeto ta, it dignidad, it aton hinigugma. Lahiya, tawo, nga ginhimo hang Ginoo in His image and likeness, and he or she is loved by God as he or she is. No? Kaimportante niya, sagrado ini nga tawo, kay tikang inang Ginoo. I see God's blood running through the vein of this person, of my husband, no? Or the wife if you are the husband, no? And you will not possess that person because that person is free. That person is free, no? Itungod nga nga paghigugma nagpaparaya, you will respect, irerespeto nim, no? Mga desisyon ito nga tawo, iya pagkatawo, irerespeto nim. Narakikinikita nin ni Kristo di dahaya. Kinikita nin ni Kristo di dahaya. So that's the beauty, no? The real beauty of married life, of conjugal life, of marital life, no? In a consumerist society, saring ni Pope Francis, the sense of beauty is impoverished, and so joy fades. Everything is there to be purchased, possessed, or consumed, including people. So, amoy na iya nakikita nga nakakalungkot tingnan, makita sa ating society, in a consumeristic society nga we want, paruhin, okay, I can buy you, mabibili naman kita eh. May katumbas ka eh, and usually pera, no? So, ganon. It's, sabi ni Pope Francis, it makes it so impoverished, no? Versus it very rich nga kamahusay, no? It's impoverished because it fades, no? It's not permanent, it's temporary, madali mawala. Tenderness, on the other hand, saring ni Pope Francis, is a sign of love, free of selfish possessiveness. And it makes us respect the person, and we are afraid to harm the person and take away his or her freedom. So as opposed to tenderness, no? Yung isa, possessiveness, no? We want to control the person, karekta aton la, babakura natin, and we want to imprison the person, no? Nasasakal na. Pero tenderness, no? It kama, how do you say tenderness, no? Kabuutan, kamaupay, no? It's a combination of many things, of love, of goodness, no? Of care, of respect, no? That's tenderness. Saring ni Pope Francis, is a sign of love, free of selfish possessiveness, no? Dire controlling, ini nga paghigugma nga klaseng paghigugma, dire tagin ko control ita tinigugma, dire tagin ma-manipulate, inirerespeto tahiya, and hadlok kita nga hibangon tahiya, hadlok kita nga hibangon tahiya, and take away his or her freedom, ngan kuhaon tayt iya freedom. So this is tenderness. Beautiful. Pope Francis, I love you, Pope Francis. Thank you so much for your Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family. Pamati itay tiyakan ni Pope Francis, si unong hit, beauty, hit kamabaysay, kamaupay. Here's the deal, sabi ni Pope Francis. Loving another person involves the joy of contemplating and appreciating their innate beauty. No? Siyempre, we're attracted to the person because of beauty. First of all, it's physical. That's why, importante nga nagpapaganda tayo, nagpapagwapo tayo, yung lalaki, you know, you look good, you know, you take care of your appearance, to look beautiful, no? Because that's the first thing, no, that attracts the physical. But then later, because we have seen that the physical disappears, it fades, and then nawawara na maitngin when you get to know the person, and then you realize nga di mga yan ungod nga mahusay, no? Di mga yan ungod nga gwapo. Kala mo lang. Pero kung ungod nga mahusay, ungod nga gwapo, saring ni Pope Francis, hinihigugman nim ini nga tao, it involves the joy of contemplating and appreciating their innate beauty. No? So, diri nala kita nagkukurukayakanhin physical beauty, but innate beauty, kamahusay, kagwapo, nga tikang hit kasing-kasing, nga parte hit era pagkatawo. And the sacredness of the person. We talk about sacredness earlier on, because we realize that each person is a child of God. Therefore, sacred, no? Dire la hiya ordinaryo nga gamit o nga nga butang din niya kalibutan, kundi sagrado. Sagrado hiya. Dara kay anak hiya hit Ginoo. Aadaan dignity, the image and likeness of God is in the person. And that's where the dignity of each person comes from. No? Because we have been made in the image and likeness of God. And we have been bought at a great price. No? We have been bought with the body and blood of Christ on the cross. That's how sacred the person is. Very importante, kundi sagrado. And when we contemplate, hit ka mabaysay, hit usa nga, hit aton hinigugma, hit aton asawa, kinikita ta ini, nga iya innate beauty, nga iya kamahusay, nga tikang hasulod, inner beauty, kung tawagon ta. Beautiful inside and out, di ba? Nakakarinig tayo niyan. Madalas natin naririnig, that person, he or she is beautiful inside and out. Diri la hit gawas, hit physical, nga hitsura, kundi buutan, maupay, mahigugmaon, mabuligon, nga tao. No? So that's the innate beauty, the inner beauty of the person. And this innate beauty of the person, the inner beauty of the person, and the sacredness of the person is greater than my needs. It's greater than my needs. So what does that mean? We do not possess the person. Inirerespeto ta it iya freedom, it iya dignidad. This is how we have to deal with each other, no? Sugadhin kuntet aton pagkarawat it kada usa, no, that I don't own you, I don't possess you. Even among friends, di ba? Sometimes we can be very possessive. Nadiri kita nga aton sangkay daman niya at iba, karuyag ta aton la, no? That's a very selfish kind of love, you know, yung possessive kind of love. Nararanasan natin yan eh. Kasi we're only human, no? We have to admit that, di ba? Nagsiselos tayo, naabugho kita, nginit aton sangkay, nakikisangkay damahit iba. Kasi rin ko kitala. That's a selfish kind of love and a possessive kind of love. So, kinahanglan hibaro kita, no? To respect the freedom of the person, karag niya makisangkay hit iba, fine, no? I'm secure. Hit iya paghigugma haakon. So, well, in married life, syempre, bawal na yung makipagkaibigan ka sa iba. I mean, not yung klase ng pakikipagkaibigan that's intimate, that is too close for comfort, sarinta, that's not acceptable, no? And that's not the kind of letting go and respecting the freedom of the person. That's not the kind of freedom that we're talking about, no? Actually, the right family code may mga provisions nga magpapakita nga inirerespeto ta. Ito, ma-exemplify ini nga sinisring ni Pope Francis. Kitpagpili, for example, trabaho hitim asawa, hindi mo na yan kukontrolin, no? Hindi na nga niya kailangan magpaalam sa iyo eh. If the job is decent, honest, nga klase yung trabaho, diri na niya kinahanglan nga tumuyang ka. That's in the family code, no? But of course, syempre, maupay ka mga mag-asawa, pagsusumatan ka niya, ngahin, karuyag luwat niya nga matuyang ka, no? But it's not a requirement, a requisite. Kung halimbawa, ayaw mong pumayag pero gusto niya magtrabaho, she has that right, no? And that right is recognized by the family code. At aton balaod, yung pag-aragsawa. That's the family code. So what's the point here? What's the point here? Na dira ta iko-control itat asawa. Irarespeto ta, it iya dignidad, it iya freedom, irarespeto ta, itatahod ta. And when we do that, no, the more the person will like consult us. Pag nakikita ta nga diri kita kinokontrol hit aton asawa, the more nga karuyag nim i-please it nga tawo salit, you will always consult the person about your plans. So that's the paradox, no? The paradox of love. And then true love see the good. It seeks the good even if they cannot belong to me. no? So, bisan kung diri ka magiging akon, may mga ganyan na nagpaparaya, napabaya, irerespeto ta ikaw. Or when they are no longer physically appealing but intrusive and annoying, no? Bisan ko, ayan yung sabi nga beauty fades, no? So, kung wala na, ang kamahusay, matambok na, busag na buhok, puro na wrinkles, ano pa, basta, wala na buhok. Pero diri nawawala ipaghigugma, di ba? You still see the inner beauty of the person, the innate beauty of the person, of your husband or of your wife, and they are still appealing to you. No, hinigugma lagi hap ni, mahusay lagi hap para haim, gwapo lagi hap para haim, because you see the inner beauty of the person, no longer just the physical beauty nga nawawara paglabayin maiha nga panahon. So this is the love, no, the beauty of marital love that Pope Francis is talking about. Pope Francis also talks about the gaze, the look of love. No, this is how I'd like to describe it. The look of love. No, kinukulawan ka nga punong-puno ng pagmamahal na matutunaw ka. Hindi naman. Pero ramdam mo your heart melts, di ba? When the person you love looks at you with the look of love. So Pope Francis describes this as the gaze, no? The gaze. Ang pagkulaw, nga punong-punohin paghigugma. So he says that the aesthetic experience of love is expressed in that gaze, which contemplates other persons as ends in themselves, not means, no? Even if they are infirm, elderly, or physically unattractive. Lalim to. Pero simple la, no? Malalim, pero simple. Sabi ni Pope Francis, if you look at the person with the look of love, you go beyond the physical. Parang may X-ray vision ka, parang si Superman. Kita mo hanggang sa kaibutura ng puso ng taong yon. And that's what you fall in love with. No? It iya kamaupay. It aadat iya kasing-kasing. So even if the person is infirm, masakit, no? Maraot na titsura, masakit, maluya, magasa, duason, elderly, lagas na, tigurang, or physically unattractive, no? Maraman, dire mahusay, dire gwapo, no? Pero, mahusay in pagkulaw, gwapo in pagkulaw. Darakay, you are using the lens of love to look at the person. Paghigugma it ginagamit nga pagkulaw hitao. And when you do that, then you see that you go beyond the physical and see the inner beauty of the person. So the gaze, it's important. The look of love is important. Dire lahat nga na-admire physically, no? Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko, matutunan ko. Muna kong titigan ng ganyan. Parang may talaga pag nagmamahal, no? Mabibighani ka sa ganda. May mga ganon, physically attractive, yes, mabibighani ka, ano tawag nun? Natunaw ka. Natunaw ka, kinukulawan ka. But it's more than that. Again, it's more than that. It's more than the physical. The gaze that Pope Francis talks about, the look of love that he refers to, looks at the person inside. No? And it is a look of appreciation, of respect, affirmation, validation. This is how we want to be looked at, no? Not just to be admired, no? Not just to be admired nga, ay, kamahusay niya, kamabaysay niya, so kinulawan ta itaw. And then we look forward to seeing that person because we are attracted physically to that person. No? But the gaze that Pope Francis talks about, no, that should be present in the spouses talks about a look of appreciation. Kinukulawan ni Mia nga ina-appreciate ni Mia, ginpapasalamatan ni Mia, ay nire-respeto ni Mia, ina-affirm ni Mia nga maupay ka, binavalidate ni Mia nga hinihigugma ta ikaw because you matter, you are important because you are you. No? So that's the look of love, that's the gaze. And Pope Francis said that to begrudge it, kung ipagdamot natin yan, igimot ta, it is hurtful. And masuol, kung diri ta nakukulawan ita tinigugma with the gaze, with the look of love. Kung iimot ta iton na pagkulaw, nga punong-puno, pagrespeto, pagpasalamat, pag-appreciate nga tao, pag-affirm and validate, it iya kamaupay, it iya kaimportante. No? So, if we begrudge it, no, to the person we love, it's hurtful. Ang daming nasasaktan. No? Sabi dito ni Pope Francis, no? Very practical. How many things do spouses and children sometimes do in order to be noticed? No? They engage in destructive behavior to be noticed. No? Direkat kabataan nakikita tayo yung nagbibisyo na yung nagka-cutting classes na. Kaya ano? Because that's the time when nanay and tatay, mommy and daddy, papa and mama come to me, no? Pay attention to me. Yung ipinapatawag na ang principal's office. No? Otherwise, di ko hira kinikita. They don't even talk to me. I don't see them. They don't even talk to me. Pero hinwara hira dida. Pero yung ipinapatawag ak nga to hit principal's office, bisan kung giniisgan ak nira, at least nakikita ko hira, kinakaya kanak nira, bisan kung pangisog, pakikaya ka na ang. No, that's the sad thing. Sabi ni Pope Francis, much hurt and many problems result when we stop looking at one another, literally and figuratively speaking, but most of all figuratively speaking. Complaints of husband and wife and children. No? He lists down it mga reklamo, it mag-asawa. My husband does not look at me. He acts as if I were invisible. Di nakulaw ka kitang asawa, nada to nga dahabalay, diretso, naghuhugas iti sapatos, nagliliwan, TV, na on hit TV. No? Diretso pamati, it news or whatever, it sports. No? Di na nga nakulaw haak. And it's as if I'm not there. Pero akin wara dida. Gintimahan ko iti kakaunon. Okay, nakaon. Di nga ni nakikistorya haak. Di nga ni nakulaw haak. Kay, I don't know, he's reading the newspapers or whatever. He is on his gadget. I don't know what, doing what, texting, messaging, doing Facebook, surfing the internet. No? So, reklamo in mag-aragsawa and in the family. Please look at me when I'm talking to you. Kulaw haak ni kinakayakan ta ikaw. Diba? This is very familiar complaint. Kulaw haak yung kinakayakan ta ikaw. Ayaw lilingaw, ayaw babaya. No? My wife no longer looks at me. The husband complains. She is... Why? Why doesn't my wife look at me anymore? She only has eyes for our children. Ako, mga misis, no? Ayaw ta pagpabaihin, mister. No? Yung iba nga, sabi nila, my husband is one of my children. One of my boys, no? It's a good attitude to have, a good practice to have. To treat your husband like one of your children. Kay dire pwede nga ikaw ini-ignore na niya kay puro nala kabataan at iminaatindiran. So wife, be careful about this, no? Kasi ring nim nga maupay ka nga asawa kay naninimang itim mga anak. Oh God, pero ayaw naman pagbabae itim asawa because he also needs you to look at him, to appreciate his presence, his being there. Kabataan, asya da may reklamo, no? Kanina, I mentioned about children going into doing vices, doing drugs and cutting classes, and even mga kababayan, teenage pregnancy, kung ano lang nga mga delinquencies to get the attention of their parents. And reklamo damit kabataan in our own home, nobody cares about me. They do not even see me. It's as if I did not exist. No? Nada to nga kabalay, mara ko kinikita, pero waray nakita haag, nabayaag, nobody, walang nakakamiss sa akin. I actually have heard someone said this, no? Wara hiya uli, at nagabi, waray nanuroy ha iya. So he felt so bad. Waray nag-alala, walang nag-alala sa kanya, walang nakamiss sa kanya. Wara hiya uli. So, and ang pakiramdam niya is that, yun nga, he doesn't exist in that home, in his home. And it hurt him a lot. But love, no, sabi ni Pope Francis, opens our eyes and enables us to see beyond all else the great worth of a human being, a person worth loving, sacrificing for, and dying for. No, so kung aanda itungod nga pagigugma it mag-asawa, hit kag anak nga det ira anak, hit mga anak nga det ira kag anak, nga det ira kabutuan, maaabrihan itat mga mata, yan makita kita beyond all else, bisan kung ano pa ithiya, bisan ano pa itiya karatan, bisan ano pa itiya ka maraksot, ka mapurot, no? But of course, for a person in love, maray mapurot, no? The person he or she loves is the most beautiful person in the world, and that's how it should be, no? Then the great worth of a human being, we see kikitaon ta it value, no? Importansya, it worth hiton nga tao. A person worth loving, angay higugmaon, tao nga angay higugmaon, pagsakripisyohan, and even to die for that person. So this is what we miss sometimes, what we lack sometimes, nga nawawara na it nga pagkulaw, nga puno hin paghigugma. Pagkulaw nga nakita, hit kaimportante, hit kada usa haat is worth loving. No? Anong tawag doon? Dapat mahalin. Hindi dapat saktan, hindi dapat ipagbaliwala, no? Kundi dapat mahalin, bigyan ng importansya, ng pansin, and sacrifice even for that person, and even die for that person. No? To take the bullet for that person. May mga ganyan. May nanay, I will take the bullet for my son. No? I mean, that's mother's love, for her child, that she is willing to take the bullet for the person. Danay kita liwat na batin mga kag-anak, masakit itira anak, labi na kung bata pa, or tapos pinutusukan ng kung ano-ano dyan, mga dextrose, nakita kita hit pain, hit pagkuri, hit kamasuol, hit iya ginaagian. Kung pwede la, ikaw it turukon, pagbutangan it dextrose, ikaw it umabat, it kamakurit nga iya inaabat, di ba? That's how parents feel for their children because of their great love for their children. Pero damit mag-aragsawa, mag-asawa, no? Kung pwede la, ako it magkuri, kay kinukurian kita pag kita hit aton hinigugma nga iging kukuri. So that's love, no? That's love, and that's the look of love that Pope Francis talks about. And then joy, kalipayan, no? Joy also grows through pain and sorrow. After suffering and struggling together, spouses are able to experience that it was worth it. It was worth it because they achieved some good. naging close hira, naging strong hira, ira ka mag-asawa, naging strong. Kasi sinubok sinubok ng pagkakataon, ng tadhana. Learned something as a couple, may nira na hibaruan nga, we're strong together pala. Kaya pala natin malampasan ang mga problema, no, financial or any, whatever, physical, any moral, even moral problems, no? If you go through them together, you learn, no, that you are strong together and you can survive whatever difficulties will come your way as a married couple, as a family. You grew together and became better persons, lovers, spouses, parents, no? So naging mas mamaupay ka pa nga asawa, nga kag-anak, no? Darahan iyo ginagian nga kakurian, but which you went through together as a husband and wife, as a couple, as a married couple, and as a family. So this is the beauty and the joy of marital love, of conjugal love, that Pope Francis talks about in Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family. And then may paniya siniring nga, tutulong ang mga importante nga angay ta dinyayakan nila aton pamilya. And these are the magic words. Please, thank you, sorry. No? So in the family, 3 words need to be used. Kinahanglan taing gamiton. And let us not be stingy. Ayaw kita pag-imot in using these words. Please, thank you, sorry. But keep repeating them day after day. Nga, naging, second nature na haaton. Ipagsiring please, palihugaan, thank you, salamat. Not to take for granted, no, the good things that people do for us, that our spouse does for us, that our children do for us, that our parents do for us. Not to take them for granted, but to appreciate them and to say thank you. And if we have hurt our husband or your wife or your children, or the children have hurt their parents, just say, I'm sorry. Not say, I'm sorry. And don't be afraid to repeat it every time you hurt the person you love. No, say this every day. The right words spoken at the right time daily protect and nurture love. This is how you are going to make your love as husband and wife and as a family grow strong through the years. Kaya, magkakaroon kayo ng forever. If you use the magic words, please, palihuga, sorry, pasaylua ako, and thank you, salamat. Remember the magic words. Please, sorry, thank you. Dinhipahan, chapter 4, and Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love in the family, apostolic exhortation ni Pope Francis on love in marriage. Usa pa nga importante nga surat ni Pope Francis nga karag niya aton pamalantungan, pag-adman nga i-apply, no, in our personal life is dialogue, communication, conversation. Napaka-importante in a relationship, in the family. No, hit mag-asawa, ngayit usa nga pamilya, importante nga may nira communication, nga they talk to each other, no? They engage in a conversation, may ada dialogue, nag-iistorya, nag-share hit era mga kasing-kasing, hit era mga pinanuhuna-hunaan. And it is important for experiencing, expressing, and fostering love in marriage and family life. Pope Francis emphasizes the importance of dialogue, of communication, of conversation. Kay kun warahin mamamatay ito sa nga pag-asawa, ito sa nga pamilya. Kun waray communication, kun waray dialogue, kun dire nag-iistorya it mga membro it pamilya, it mag-asawa, if they stop talking to each other, that's the end of that marriage. And that's the end of the family. Salit, dida nagkakamay mga miscommunication, and then they start growing apart and drifting away. No? Dida it magtitikang they outgrow each other, they start going in different direction. They are not growing together anymore, but nagdi-drift away na, nagbubulag na era dalan, ngin waray communication, ngin waray dialogue it mag-asawa, nganit di dahil pamilya. And we need to develop certain attitudes and Serenity Pope Francis, we need to develop certain attitudes that express love and encourage authentic dialogue. No? So, kinahanglan hibaro kita hitpag pakikayakan nga aada in paghigugma, aada in pagrespeto. So this is not just an ordinary kind of conversation, not an ordinary kind of communication, kundi pag-iistorya nga may paghigugma, nga may pagrespeto. Our way of asking and responding to questions, no? At pagpakiana, kinahanglan may pagrespeto. Dire nga imposing, dire nga nag-iisog, dire nga pabalang, ipagbaton nga yung paruhin nag-iisog nga pagbaton nga maupay na lang nga wala di ka nala bumaton kung sugad la damit in pagbaton kasi nakaka-hurt masuol. The tone we use, no, it tono it aton tono na pangisog ba nga tono o tono nga may pag-intindi, tono nga may pagrespeto, no? And our timing, no? Timing, di ba, nasing hirangin, naging isugak, ayaw gaakdungan ni, na wag mo kong sabayan o wag mo kong salubungin, no? Keep quiet when the other person is upset. Ayan na, nangingisog na, ayaw, sumpaye, ayaw liwat dungan, hit panghisog, paghulat, nga dahit iya pag, di na nangingisog, no? Mahimas-masa na, it happens, no? It mag-asawa ngin, hubog. Pinauuli ni mitim asawa kay naghihinubog, nagpinakiinom. Siyempre, mangingisog itim asawa kay paruhin nim hiyahin pinakaaluhan, kinukuha nim hiya ditit iyak mga kahampang. No? Nai-embarrass kasi yun sila. Kaya magagalit yan. Tapos hubog pa. Tapos susumpayan pa nim, babatunon pa nim, o dudog sasalubungin mo yung galit niya. Wag. Walang kahihinatnan yung pag-uusap na yun. That's not the way to communicate. That's not the way to converse. That's not the way to dialogue. So, i-timing mo pag mahimasmasa na, pag kay buutan na may tirang, hindi na mga hubog, di ba? Sorry naman. In other words, he's already in his right senses. So that's the time that you talk to him. Nga, diri maupay para itim lawas, pag ininom, and yung mga anak, naghihinulat haim, oray kami, pag pangangaon, kay ginihinulat ka na. O di kaya hiniyan na nga pandemya, ayaw gud ani ka mo pag hinarampangon, kay aani pa ini nga virus nga matapon, no? Dire ta karuyag nga magkasakit ka, tapos mga matapnan, at mga anak, kita makuri magkasakit yan na nga mga panahon yan nga pandemya na nagkukulang nga mga hospital, and the transmission, no, is in the family, within the family. So yon, timing, wait for the time nga mamamati hiya, because the person is already settled and he is or she is in his right senses and ready to listen. Yun ang may kahihinatnan na pag-uusap. Kay kung tatapuon, ay wala. Maghihiwalay. mag-aaway la ka mo, magkakasakitan pa, and then you'll start saying things, no, that will hurt the other person, that magkakasakitan lang kayo sa mga salita nyo, and baka nga meron pang physical abuse. So, timing sa rin po, Francis. Also, hinumdumi taliwat, no? This is very practical nga po, Francis advice. Men and women, young people and adults communicate differently. So, this is important na maintindihan ta nga babae nga't lalaki, magkaiba, itira pag-istorya, it bata nga tigurang, magkaiba liwat, itira pag-istorya. Itira pagyakan, no? Danay mastering tigurang, haro niya bata, kawara patasa, nabato, nasagbang. O di kaya't mag-asawa, di akin naman naintindihan, ay nalahit, ganyan. So, if we don't understand, no, that man and woman, young and old people, they communicate differently, wala ring mangyayari sa ating pag-uusap. Kaya, importante maintindihan natin pagkakaiba, babae at lalaki, ngahit bata, ngahit tiguran. No? We have actually attended some classes, no, on the difference between a man and a woman, and there are books, and you can also surf the internet. Everything now is in the internet, all information that you need to understand the difference between a man and a woman, and young and old, and in the manner by which they communicate. No? Nag-iiba, pero kung naiintindihan tayo niya pagkaiba, we will have a wonderful conversation, a fruitful dialogue with our spouses, with our children, with our elderly members of the family. Ang importante pa nga advice ni Pope Francis para magkemay-ada, ma-maintain, ma-sustain, paghigugma, direct pag-asawa, direct pamilya, siring niya, take time, quality time. You have to find time. You have to find time. Tagihin panahon, itim asawa, itim pamilya. Napaka-importante. Be ready to listen patiently and attentively to everything the other person wants to say. Listen, pamati. The art of listening, again, it's another skill that we need to learn. We have to learn how to listen. Ugod na pamati, ha? Dere lang, okay, nabati ka, pero itim huna-huna, itim kasing-kasing, wara di dahit iaginyayakan. Di nga, ninimhiya pinapahuman, magyakan, nabaya ka na, nabakdaw ka na. I noticed this, kasi nangyari to sa akin, nagreklamo. Yung kapatid ko, kasi tumayo raw ako nung nagsasalita pa siya. And then I told him, alam mo, hindi ko talaga matandaan yan. And he was so hurt, nasaktan siya. He was so hurt. He felt na they're importante and iyaginyayakan. It hurt him, in other words. And I had to apologize to him. And then I look back, and it's true, no? Kay hikita babae. We were in the dining table kasi. This is my brother and I. We're in the dining table, nangangaon, restorya. Hikita kababayinan, naninimos na kita, di ba? Nagkikipag-istorya pa haat, at bugto, o asawa. Naninimos na kita, kay it's in our nature, panimos, para manhugas na, tapos iligpit yung pagkain. Nag-iistorya, nakikiistorya pangayan haat, an aton bugto, an aton asawa, an aton anak. Ayaw tabayai. Pabailit anay dida, nga timuson, it can wait. Pero yung hurt, that you cause the other person, masakit yun eh. Masakit pala. Akala mo na, kasi rin tatagusyahon ka, darakay malinis ka, nagpipinanimos ka, hindi pala. And between things and persons, syempre mas importante itao. Salit bayailit anay dida nga mga himuson, ha? Bayait nga mga hugasan, pabailit anay. niya na, human na hiya magyakan, na pamatian na nin hiya. So we need, sa rin ni Pope Francis, we need self-discipline not to speak until the right time. Usa damait nga aton kinahanglan pag-adman nga humanong taan ay itawo san o kita magyakan. Pamamatian taan ay hiya without judgment, without without ano ba yan, yung ipilit natin yung gusto nating sabihin na oo, ganyan na maaram nakit, oo, di na aking dimangay pagsumatan. No, that's very hurtful, no? And o di kaya namamati kita para makasagbang kita. Mali rin pala yun. Yun, dito ko na-realize, no, na mas importante ipamati kontra pagsagbang, kontra pagbaton. Kasi when someone talks to us, di maitit aton baton iti rakaruyag, really, kundi nga pinamamatian tahira. So we need discipline not to speak until the right time. So pahulta, hiya nga mahuman mag-istorya. Huwag kang sasabat. So mali na nga yung tatayuan mo, tatalikuran mo. Mali rin yung sasabat ka na hindi pa siya tapos. Pahuman na anay, iti agini istorya. Pamatii anay. Sabi pa ni Pope Francis, instead of offering an opinion or advice, we need to be sure that we have heard everything the other person has to say. Cultivate an interior silence to be able to listen without mental or emotional distraction. Wow! This is the art of listening. Asya init ungod nga pamati. Ha? Namamati kita tiya ginyayakan, itiya pagyakan. And you know, ginadman inam dito Harvard, no? The art of communication. It aton ginyayakan. We only retain very small amount of percentage. Mga 7% nga lang yata eh. Yung ginyayakan, tawo, yan na, sige paginakan. But you know, mas damoit at nakukuha, didahit iya tono, the manner, the tone, no, the manner of speaking, itonohan pagyakan, and facial expression, hantawo the non-verbal language of the person. Mas damo at nakukuha. That's why it's important to listen, no? Not only to listen with our ears, but listen with our heart and with our mind. Napakaganda kasi dyan lang talaga natin maiintindihan yung tao at maipaparamdam natin sa kanya na mahalaga ka, na importante ka. Mahal kita dahil importante sa akin yung sasabihin mo. Hinigugma ta ikaw, ka-importante para haakon itim pagyayak nun. Pamamatian ta ikaw, ka-importante itim ginyayakan. Dara ka-importante ka haak. Beautiful, and it's so practical, and unfortunately, nakakalimutan ta ini, o di kita maaram, no? Di kita maaram nga, nakaka-hurt ngayon kita, yung binabayaan ta, yung itawo nga nakikiistorya pa, at dara kay nabibisi kita, nalilibang kita pag pinanimos, pag pinanmuhat, panilhig, o whatever, no? Nga di pa ngayon human, ipagyakan ang aton asawa, aton anak, or aton kag-anak. So, amo hiya na sa ring Pope Francis, sometimes we are not looking. So, ito pa yung sabi niya na, ayan, to be able to listen without mental or emotional distraction, we need interior silence, no? So, tune off, hitin mga judgment, hitin mga opinion, have that interior silence, no? Nga 100%, hitim attention, hitim focus, aada hitawo, nga itim asawa, o im anak, o im kag-anak, nga nakikikayakan haim. So keep that in mind, no? The interior silence when we listen to the person we love. Waray judgment, waray pag-impose it aton opinion, kundi 100% nakafocus it aton attention haiya para bation ta it iya pinamumulong it iya ginyayakan ngan maintindihan tahiya ngan ipaabat tahiya haiya nga importante hiya. Damit mga advice ni Pope Francis nga mag-upay, no? Iunong hit love in marriage, no? Para ma-sustain ta, para ma-maintain, para dire lang ma-maintain kundi para sumulig, kumusog ipaghigugma. Dahil mag-asawa, nga dahil pamilya. So, siring pa ni Pope Francis, do not be rushed. Ayaw pagdagmit. Give your time and attention. Put aside all of your needs and worries and make space, no? Welcome that person into your life. Ganun ba yun? You make space. Dire nga, wala na ning lugar din pero, so do the opposite. Give time for the person. Tagihiyahin panahon. Bayai. Asa lang kanina, minam-mention, no? It nga pakalibang damahit, nga hugasan, nga timuson, nga mga silhigon, nga mga ralabhan. Bayai lit anay. Pamati. Tagihin panahon. Itim asawa, itim anak, o itim kag-anak. Okay? Sometimes we are not looking for a solution to our problem. We simply want to be heard, to feel that someone has acknowledged our pain, our disappointment, our anger, our hopes, and our dreams. This is actually more for women, no? Sa nga nabasa that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Usa nga difference it man and woman. It babayi will sige, paginakan, mga problema, mga kakurian, mga reklamo, no? And then the husband, mahatagihan solution, no? And that's the end, no, of the conversation. Alis na yan, sabi, hoy, ayaw bayain din, nagyayakan pa. And then the husband, kawawa naman yung husband, sabi niya, but I already give you a solution to your problem, an answer to what you're asking, no? In his mind, okay na hiya, kaya nahihatag na niya ang solusyon. Because he thought that that's what the wife was asking for. Ko, mga asawa, men, no? Pamati, pabaila hiya maginakan. She's not asking for a solution. Kariyagla niya ipagawas, itiya hingingisgon, itiya disappointment, itiya mga reklamo, pabaila, that's the nature of women. We just want to talk. We have girlfriends, diba? And this is what you will notice. Mga kababayan nga mag-istorya. May mga kaasawaan, pero ibang gihapon, yun itira ka-istorya, itira kasi babae. Dara ka nagigiintindihan, hira, puro reklamo. Nagsasanga-sanga it mga gini-istoryahan. And they understand each other. You know, walay solusyon, pero nahipagawas la nira ang irang mga reklamo, ang irang mga problema, ang irang mga kakurian nga ginaagian, and that's what they want, that's what they need, and that's enough nga mahigawas nira. So, don't offer a solution and then leave. No. Nako, asawa, maho-hurt, itim misis. Mister, makinig ka na lang. Hayaan mo siya maglitanya ng mga reklamo niya, ng mga problema niya. Makinig ka lang. Yun lang ang gusto niya, na pakikinggan siya, no? Na maramdaman niya na-acknowledge ang iya pain. No? Okay na yan. Don't offer any solution. Ganyan, okay na yan. Sabi, okay. Oo. O di kaya just be there, no? And pabae ila tiya, maglitan niya, iti mga, mga reklamo, at iyang mga disappointment, iti iyang mga hingingisgon, nga iti iyang mga hopes and dreams. No? Pamati igadaman, iti iyang mga inop, iti iyang mga paglaom. No? Don't discourage her from dreaming and from having hopes. No? Kasi sometimes ganyan din. Yung a person feels hurt, it works, it's the same, no? For both the husband and the wife. It asawa, it lalaki, mag-iistorya, it iyang mga inop, and then the wife said, wala may, parang hindi ka na naniniwala, hindi ka believe, huwag ganun. Kasi nakita mo na siya mag-fail before, so di ka na natuod, don't do that, no? It works, no? It's the same. Lalaki, nga diri na believe iti asawa, nga babae, nga diri na believe iti asawa. No, listen to their hopes and dreams and encourage them and support them, no? And don't let the failure, no, get in the way of their achieving their dreams. No, be a supporter of your spouse. No, supportare. Kung danay dire realistic, din istoryahe. Pag istorya ka mo, no, dire nga i-dismiss nim, dire ning pamamatian, nga dire ning tatagan in importansya iti ang ginyayakan, iti ang mga paglaom, iti ang mga inop. No, you have to encourage, no, the hopes and dreams of your spouse. So ini pa, ring ni Pope Francis, reklamo, babae, he does not listen to me. Di kaya na mamatiya kasi nga, tinaga na namin solusyon, binaya ka na. You are not listening. Listen, babae na tiya, di ba? Maghinakan, maglitanya. Even when you seem to, sorry, you are really doing something else. Napakalibang ka. So that's another way of telling the person, sorry, I'm busy. I don't have time to listen to you. This hurtful. Mas uliton. I talk to her and I feel like she just wants to make me finish. No? May ganyan, ha? We have to be careful with aton mga body language, ha? Bisan ko nung rata ginyayakan. Yes. Udong na daw pag ginakan, pero ayun, napaka-busy na kita, napakalibang na kita. So, that's the message we are giving the person. I talk to her, and I feel like she just wait for me. She cannot wait for me to finish. Di nga ni nakakahulat nga, pumanong ko itag ginyayakan, itag giniistorya. Mareklamo damit asawa, when I speak to her, she tries to change the subject, or she gives me curt responses to end the conversation. So, giniiba, giniistoryahan, no? You change the subject, kasi para sa'yo, hindi importante. Or, natataga, okay, sige na, para to end the conversation. Careful, that's hurtful, masuon iton. So, listen, take time to listen, make time for the person, okay? And show that person that the person is important. And listening to what the other person is saying is one very concrete way of showing the person that he or she is important, that you respect his or her views, and that you are listening to him or to her. Get it explanation ni Pope Francis, kung kay ano nga mamamati kita, hit aton asawa, hit aton mga anak, hit aton kabugtuan, hit atong kag-anak, no? Serenia. Everyone has something to contribute because they have their life experiences. They look at things from a different standpoint. They have their own concerns, abilities, and insight. No, everyone has something to say. Everyone has a story, and that story is important for that person. Yes, because the person by him or herself is important, has dignity, and at sinisiring because that person has been made in the image and likeness of God. No, so we have to acknowledge the other person's truth. No, if the person says, "I'm hurt, I'm pained," no? Don't say, "Inaano ka?" No, you have to acknowledge that the person is hurting, that the person is in pain. That is her truth. That is his truth. You may not agree with it, but you have to acknowledge that the person is hurting, that the person is in pain. Irespeto, no? It kamasuol nga ginaagian ni tao, nga inaabat ni tao, nga para haim nga, ay nag-iinarak ay naanoin pag reklamo, itin reklamo, nag-explicar na akaim, so gadit. Ito, palimbawa, nagsiselos yung asawa. Sasaktan siya, syempre. Kay nahadlo kiya nga di nahiya itim number 1, di rin nahiya itim forever, no? And then ikaw naman, inaano kapag pinangabughuon, para mahat, it doesn't mean anything. No, pero acknowledge, no, okay, maybe the person is overreacting, but you have to acknowledge it iya hurt, it iya pain. Because that is her truth. That is her truth. Okay? Para sa'yo wala yun. Pero nasaktan siya. No? So, yun din yung isang art of listening, and then yung having, establishing, friendship and deepening your love for each other. To say sorry, no? Sorry if I hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Pero nakita kong nasaktan ka. Sorry. Dahil nasaktan ka. Kahit hindi ko gustong saktan ka, wala akong balak saktan ka. Pero nasaktan ka. So doon ka magsusorry, no? Because that is the truth of the person. You have to acknowledge that. Very important, ha? Very practically po, Francis, no? We have to acknowledge the other person's truth, his or her concern, and what they are trying to communicate, even if aggressively. Even if aggressively. So, bisang kun pangisog, no? If iya pakipag-istorya haim, we have to be sensitive, no? That person is telling something. Example ta nila itbata, no? Itbata nga nagwawala. Sa harwi, kamaka nga ngalas, di ba? Para kag-anak, nga labi na kung naaaluhang ka, ya dahil public, nagwawala yung bata, naaaluhan ka kay porohin di ka maara magdisiplina hitim anak. No? But that child is saying something, no? Trying to get your attention, or may niya inaabat nga diri maupay. So, may kusangkay ka, nagkakaistorya pala kami kanina, kasi nagka-COVID siya. Kaya very careful ira balay na magaling na siya, thanks be to God, mild lang kasi vaccinated, thanks be to God for vaccines. Pero yung kanyang daughter-in-law nga na ukoy pahaira yan na they transfer to their own condo. Menira 3-year-old nga anak. So nakatuirahan ika-third floor han balay. Pero open yan, may rails, open nga rin sala. So, and then, an ira 3-year-old nga apo, who grew up with them, nga, permit nila, kasi unang apo yun pinaura, nga tanan. So, permit hiya, kinukup-kupan, hinahagkan, and lola, no? And the other members of the family. Pero may nagka-COVID, yudahan ira pamilya, anakon sangkay nagka-COVID, and ira mga surugoon, may nag-positive. So, maingat na sila, and then the daughter-in-law was pregnant. So, in-isolate, kwinaran, paano ba tawag doon? Basta doon sila sa 4th floor, dire na nakakaduok, ang bata, dire na naduduok. And sabi ng kaibigan ko, lola na kasi yun sabi niya, aroy, anak apo, dimpi pinanulogin, may nalabay, nahulog yung gamit. Parang pwede kang tamaan kasi hindi mo alam na may mahuhulog na gamit. It was his way of calling their attention. Bakit ano nga napaharayo na kamuhaak? Because he was used to being hugged, being kissed by them, and playing with them, being played with by them. Yun. So he felt na iniiwasan siya. And it hurt the child. He was only 3 years old, pero sensitive. So yun, yung mga destructive behavior na ganyan, mayroon niyang pinapahiwatig. Ha? So, hulat, kaya pag calm down, pag kalmahit bata, and then speak to the child. Speak to the child. Ito naman, kaasawaan, no? When they become aggressive, no? Meron yan root cause, no? So you go into the root cause para masulbar niyo, no? Yan, basta yan, mga bugho, di ba? So why? What makes you insecure? Siguro di na nimhiya kinukulawan, di na nimhiya pinakikiistoryahan, you no longer find time for that person. Talagang may insecure yun. Pag may napansin siya na mas pinapansin mo, di ba? Pag may makita siya na mas pinapansin mo, and you are spending time with that person. So, yun, if the spouse becomes aggressive, so wait, pakalmahin mo, mag-usap kayo. And then, make your husband or your wife feel loved para secure, make them secure in your love para maiwasan na yung mga aggressive behavior. No? So have empathy. Sabi ni Pope Francis, let us put ourselves in the shoes of the other person and look at what is inside their hearts to preserve their deepest concerns. No? Kulawit akong arat-arat ira mga kasing-kasing. And keep an open mind and be prepared to change our minds. No? Pagbago itat panhuna-huna, itat pagkulaw, itat opinion, and then have that unity in diversity. It's okay to have different points of view. You can agree to disagree. Sabi ni Pope Francis. So, kamag-upay ang mga advice ni Pope Francis to keep that love in marriage. Okay. So, thank you very much for watching our program. Lima kagatos katuig ng pagtuo. Stay safe, everyone. Let's continue to pray for the pandemic to end and for all of us to be safe. Thank you, and bye-bye. God bless.